Yes, y'all. Yes, y'all. I'm old school, but I keep it funky fresh, y'all. And this is deep, y'all. I'm from the deep, y'all. And what you get is what you motherfucking see.
Welcome back, humans! You know what day it is. My name is Jaime, giving you the vents on headlines you didn't even know you needed. And with that said, here's some more ingredients for that vent blender, humans. And before I get started, I would appreciate it if you would hit me with a subscription, turn on the notifications because I'm here twice a week. And here we go with some vents. Today I'm going to cover some weird shit. Like I might even get a little conspiratorial, like because they might not even be conspiracies anymore. Like these could be some stories that possibly could come true. You know, I don't know, or who knows? This is pretty creepy shit that's been happening, and it's kind of just all adding up to some of those things of the past, or what people used to think were rumors or whatever back in the day. Shit don't seem like that anymore. But technology's getting everywhere. It's kind of catching up with it. You know, nobody's kind of ahead of anyone anymore, really. Unless you got some hidden shit, like I said, you ain't talking. You know what I'll get to on later about that. Unless you got some hidden technology, you know, some shit you just got tucked away in your pocket, which I'm sure they do. Cartels and like criminals are starting to use this technology in some ways, and I guess some cartels are getting a little crafty with they're using drones. Apparently, there's some footage out there where cartels are using drones to bomb their rivals. Yes, humans. Not only are our borders wide open, if you ain't gonna let them run the border, they're gonna fucking. What if they're not doing drone deliveries with the drugs? What, you know, if they're already doing bomb deliveries with their rivals, like here we go there, you know, just driving over and just dropping it on them. It's kind of crazy, but I guess it's happening, and there's footage everywhere. But the shit's like all kind of crazy. Like I said, it's not the best footage. And like I said, our borders are wide open. These people are drone bombing each other. What are they going to do? What else are they going to do with the drones? Like I said, they're doing drug deliveries and shit. They're taking the ideas off of Amazon when they wanted to do drone deliveries. But it's pretty bananas, you know, and it's kind of scary. You know, borders are wide open. The opiate crisis, they say, is on the rise because of all these things happening. But you don't know which side to blame because it's coming from all over the place. And there's so many people coming in from so many people from other countries are coming in just from these borders. And it's just overwhelming. Especially since they eliminated that title, whatever title number that was, that, you know, was supposedly, you know, keeping it on lockdown. Now the shit's just free for all. I've spoken many times on how wide open shit is. It's just wide open. It's wide open like Jared from Subway right now, probably by now. From all the $5 footlongs. Yay. But our borders, like I said, we got to get a grip on this, man. I don't know what to do. I mean, we got to do it violently? Do we got to do it aggressively? We got to do something. We got to do something to, you know. And where the hell is the vice president? Is she like the borders are? Where is that giggling lady when we need her the most? Where is this lady? Where is this laugh factory of a woman that is supposed to be... I don't know what she's supposed to be doing because I don't even know what the borders are does. But I guess you just laugh at shit and, you know, don't go there. Apparently, she just showed us what it is. I guess the borders are just laughs at questions, at every single question, no matter how serious and stupid it is, and you just don't go to the border. I guess that's what the borders are does, apparently. Now it's tax time, and I'm sure all these countries that depend on all this money are super happy about it. You know, they're probably like, yay. You know, like we can't wait, you know, to get more, you know, more foreign aid. When the fucking government, and then they printed out a bunch more money. Like I said, gave us like $1,000 or $4,000. I don't even know how, like I think it was $1,000, maybe a little over. Or if you got kids, you got more or something like that. And like the rest of it, just where the rest did it go? It went to all those fucking people that are just ready to print out some more money now. They want to print out like, I think $6 trillion more. That won't cost them a thing. If they print out the next $6 trillion more, gas is going to be like $40. It's going to be like $40 a gallon. Shit's going to get bananas. He's going to be like, it don't cost us a thing. Everything keeps going up. Inflation is like this inflation rate at the rate it's going, man, it's creating even another form of separation. Not only were they using separation from all kinds of initials that they made, that kind of just, were reborn or, made to light. They were there for long times, but they were kind of like brought into the mainstream media, and used it as a weapon. All the initial things and all the crazy race things. Then when the pandemic's going through, there was all these different, vaccinated, mask, non-mask, and, whatever side of the fence you were on. It was just, people were getting separated by all this shit. But now inflation is one of the new ways of separation because it's supposed to go up. It's projected to go up more. They're even telling us, like, pretty much on TV, it's going to go up higher. And who is more capable of maybe consuming or buying more consumable things, when prices go higher and, we're not working as much and maybe don't make as much money. When you got to fill a tank you got to put gas in your car still when you go to that store. So yeah, it's going to be rich people that are able to buy more things, and they'll probably buy it more in quantity. You've seen what happened with the toilet paper and fucking shit like that. You've seen what happened back in the Y2K when they thought the computers were going to shut down. Everybody just bought fucking, gas lanterns and fucking generators and shit. Like, the computers don't know what the fuck they're going to do. The computers are smarter than your dumb ass. You know what I'm saying? The computers of the future are guiding our crazy asses right now. If our crazy asses fucked around and made time travels, which we shouldn't have been fucking with. If we went and fucking did that shit, it's our fault. And then we got to deal with it. Whatever the hell happens, it's our damn fault. So people that make more money are going to be able to buy more things. And you saw what happened with, like I said before, all the consumable type things, like when the toilet paper went crazy, with the water things back then, when, the Y2K people were tripping. And all these things could be happening and set up for another thing now. When prices go up high, you can afford gas. Some people can't. You've seen people stealing people's gas now, like siphoning it out their tanks and shit like that. You see, it could get pretty bananas out here when you read articles about gang members in certain parts of California now going after rich neighborhoods because there ain't shit in the poor neighborhoods. Some of the middle class in poor neighborhoods used to have some shit, but now nobody ain't got no shit, and now they're moving into the rich neighborhoods. And they're not. And if the people in the tents start getting some cool shit, better watch out, people in the tents by the rich neighborhoods, because they're gonna fucking rob you in your tents too on the way to rich neighborhoods. So you better hide all your shit. You better find a good sewer. Y'all better become Ninja Turtles and shit. Start hiding your shit in the sewers and shit. Who knows? I don't even know if that'll be safe. But while they're creating all this shit and all this, like I said, our target will be like, the rich people, and like I said, the gang members are going over there. But they're still not going at the people that fucking started it, which is our fucking government, and they're those people that designed this crazy shit. So when we had like Trump in office, the media was saying this guy was a danger to our country. We never went to war with anyone. I'm not a fan of this dude. I'm just stating this shit. So he was a danger to our country, and but we never went to war with anybody, and stuff wasn't inflated. I think inflation was like a 1 point something, like around under 2%. And that was a danger to our country. So apparently this design is what they think is good for America. These people that are in charge now, this is like what he was doing was a danger to us. And this stuff is supposed to be okay and good. This is the good stuff. I don't get it. I don't think this stuff is very good. I don't agree with it, humans. I want the rule change. I want to know who decided all this, because y'all suck at all this rule change and shit. Everybody that always makes the rules sucks. We're directing our attention in the wrong way, and we should be directing our attention to the people who designed this shit. And you never know, like, they're getting away scot-free. They're going all the way to the bank, and they're getting away scot-free, and we're all scared as hell, and pretty soon can't have no guns to protect ourselves. There's going to be a lot of keep one, and everybody's just going to be going after each other. And it's just going to be easier for them to fucking sit back and go to the bank. That's the next design. This is weird. And then you get into the conspiracy bullshit, man. Like, for real, like, the stuff don't seem like it anymore. You heard all this conspiracies about one of these ones that was called Agenda 21, okay? And for those who don't know, I mean, a quick little rundown. It was like basically a control of society, control of population, control of food and drugs production, and control of water. Basically everything. Okay, the control of basically everything that comes out of like everywhere. And now you think about what's happening now. Like, what are they trying to do? They're trying to take away everything from us and control everything for us. And that kind of feels like it kind of feels like that is happening. Or it feels like that is being set up to happen. I don't know about you humans, but it feels in that kind of a 21-ish, that agenda-ish. I'm not saying that's what it is. It just has that kind of weird feel. When you see what's happening now, just looking outside or just watching the news, like, ew. The news is getting spooky. It's getting spookier and spookier because they're legally allowed to use false news to push narratives. It was pushed back when I think Obama was in office. Like, they're allowed to do it. So it's kind of spooky, man. It's kind of spooky. But when I go against, like I said, when I wanted to talk about some of these things that could be conspiracies now, and now they're coming out to be true, and they're not such much rumors. I mean, there's all these things that people would just say, like, "Oh, you're crazy for even thinking about it, or crazy for even talking about it." And I wanted to touch on some of these things, humans, and share them with you because I thought they were very interesting. And I don't know, nowadays with everything happening so weird and so crazy, I don't think this stuff's so bananas to talk about anymore right now. And so they're so in all these like big pharma and all these people are like so in control of things. They all buying everything up. These people, like these big huge companies and corporations, are just like buying everything that we own, that consume and need for survival. And some companies are buying things that like we put into our bodies, and they're starting to control those things, and it's kind of spooky. You know, like everybody's worried about Bill Gates. We should be worrying about this dude. Like, he's buying all this fucking farmland now. This dude was talking about like vaccines and pandemics like way back in '07 before all this shit hit us. And like now this guy's supposedly buying all kinds of farmland, and so is China. Like, China's buying farmland here. They say that it's confirmed, like they're buying farmland here, and he's buying it like everywhere. So that means that dude's going to have part of what like is going in our food if he doesn't have part in it already. And it doesn't sound far-fetched or like a conspiracy to me, humans. I'm not saying it's fact, but it doesn't sound far-fetched at the same time. And it's kind of creepy to think about it. And they're against anything that, you know, natural. If you can find something natural or anything that is like a beneficial treatment, it seems like beneficial treatments are considered controversial and harmful. But the ones that seem to be harmful are the ones that are claimed to be beneficial. It's like the flip-flopping the labels and shit on people. It's strange. So with all this craziness going on, and now we're all paying attention to it, like we're all starting to turn, I think the attention is starting to turn on to them, and they're starting to notice, they're always against all these things. They should start stepping back on some of these treatments and things like that, or let it, and you know, they're already letting people choose like experiments with like psilocybin mushrooms. Marijuana's already being like almost decriminalized. It's getting, you know, close to, you know, being all the way free. It's still got all this regulation crap where, like I said, it's getting, you know, if the government's got a piece of it, it kind of feels like the wrong people are in charge on that angle. But I don't really know too much on that end as far as the legal part. But I mean, there's like mind expanding treatments out there that are helping people with addictions, with depression, and all sorts of things. And they're so against it because they want to make sure that they can produce whatever that result is synthetically. Like, if we can't produce it synthetically, like whoever made the Dorito, for instance, like my man made a Dorito, and as soon as he was famous, like, oh, we want everybody to have fucking Doritos in their house. They take the shit to the fucking lab, and my man makes a fucking lab created Dorito. Like, it's no more corn chip. It's fucking whatever the fuck fructose and fucking whatever dye number, whatever, and all this fucking crazy stuff to make the fucking Dorito in the lab. But it's the same thing with this stuff. Like, I mean, there are real mind expanding things that are natural that can be found in all these beneficial things. But all these people are against it because they can't make it synthetic. They can't created synthetically and control the process at the same time. It doesn't seem, I mean, and then you hear like old doctors and physicians, or you don't hear them anymore because they're not, some of them aren't alive, but you read some of their quotes and things and you don't know if they're true or not because like misinformation shit is flowing everywhere and fake news things are going everywhere. People can edit shit. It's getting crazy. Like out there. The internet and everything is just so fucking like polluted right now. It's just like super polluted in there. It's just stuff getting like a nasty fucking like 7-layer chip dip. So you don't know what to believe. Well, let's say this mind expanding treatments or these experiments work, and we find out what our true capabilities are, whatever they are. Like, what if we don't have any true capabilities, and we find out like that looking glass I spoke on a previous episode. Like, we put it in, like, let's see what happens if the humans, fully expand our minds. And they're like, nope, this is as smart as we get. It's like, sorry about it. This is the peak. Like, damn. We get pissed off like the Germans did when they had the fucking chronovisor. If we're going into conspiracy stories, when that one old woman scientist made the chronovisor machine that could possibly look into the future, which is probably the same machine in Operation Looking Glass. So they then beat this woman to death because the Germans wanted to see themselves in the future being some kind of successfulness, and all they kept seeing themselves was like pig farmers and shit. And they wasn't no great rulers, and they were like, damn it. And they were like, you're lying. Psh. And they were like beating this lady, supposedly. Who knows? But that's just a whole other story. But do we have these true capabilities or not? It would be pretty depressing and sad if this is all it. This is it. This is it? Like, oh, man, this is like, and then let's say like the conspiracy of us being like in the center of the universe, right? Like, and this was our height of intelligence and we're the center of the universe. Like, damn, this is it. And like our president, like this is our leaders at the height of our intelligence, and we're the center of the universe. And my man like got lost and didn't know where to go on the podium, or when he brought up his dad and like started talking to his dad, like and started like talking to his dad off the microphone, like he didn't. And he, what? He was. If this is it, if in that future machine, man, that would suck. I want my money back. And there ain't no refunds. That's what they say. There's no refunds in life, son. I'm just saying. But you never know what our true capabilities could be. And you never will know, or if you did, you have to keep that shit a secret, because if you got it out, you wanted to share with people, you can't just tell one person anymore. They all just give up the whole touchdown. They give out the gameplay. Everybody gives out the cheat code, just like the Contra code. Isn't that crazy? Like how crazy, like if you're my age and stuff like that and you played that game, like you know that fucking code by heart still. Like your old, I don't know about you, but like your old phone numbers sometimes too. Like some people are good. Like I know some of my old phone numbers when I was a kid. Like it's just weird, but that Contra code, like things was just going wrong. People just, I'm going to give you a code, but just don't share it with nobody. And everybody just shares the secret with everybody. I got this secret recipe. Here's the secret ingredient. And fucking everybody got the secret ingredient. Like there was like one time the Kardashians were a secret ingredient and everybody got the secret ingredient. It's the same thing. It's the same thing, humans. But like I said, they're always abandoning if the medicines and things like that, if you can't create them synthetically, because big pharma's want to block you. They're not going to let you do it unless it comes out of our buildings. Humans don't even think about it. Like holistic medicines. There's all these holistic medicine and treatments you read about and hear about. And then you see them videos of people, those shorts or the TikToks, and you see these videos like on YouTube of these people that do all these experimental with holistic healing. And then you read about doctors that have done miraculous things. And then you hear about, people trying to discredit some of the things that these doctors have done. And so then you got that ping pong game of you don't know what's true and what's not. And there you go playing tug of war again and down this rabbit hole. But you always get this sense of hope when you read an article like that. Like say, oh, this doctor cured cancer, or this doctor cured like every disease, naturally, or, cured all these people in a row. And you're like, oh my gosh, why can't everybody do this? But then you read on some other people that discredit the whole thing, and then you don't know what to believe. And you're like, oh my gosh, did it work or did it not work? And then you hear about the Rife machine, and then you hear about these other things. Then you hear about this in Brazil with this, like wasp venom and like all this crazy things going on, like multiple things you just hear about, and you just don't know because there's so many things to just the scale just gets so many fucking so many weight differentials at any given time, and they can change them every day because people are putting things up every day and making a new article every day about something that's going to sway your thought process or your belief system. Your whole belief system could be changed on one article. Nowadays, it's just like, did you read that shit? It's like, now I believe. But that's why you got to watch it, humans. You got to pay attention to this stuff. You got to pay attention to that stuff. Like they're starting to push more things like the alien invasion. I mean, what's going to happen when they do come? Is it going to be a big deal or like what? Are we going to get pissed off like if they get like better fucking treatment than us too? Like if they get fucking some kind of care package and shit? Well, they're from another planet. That's why they get all this money and free winning reward too. I'm like, shit. Oh, and we're going to raise everything up again about 5% more since they moved here. I'm like, then we got to keep paying more shit because the aliens came. It's like, and not the aliens from our borders right now that are bringing up and raising up the opioid crisis. I'm talking about the borders in the sky, like them border aliens. Like they're starting to push that now. They was like pushing it for a long time. You find this old video, like an old UNICEF commercial, where it was like a little alien kid going to school. My man had like slimy fingers and shit. Gave it somebody like, oh, you dropped your pencil, and it was like little kids fucking with him, and he was getting like bullied and shit until they thought he was cool and could levitate shit like Yoda. And they was like, oh, man, we accept you now because you can levitate shit, And will they accept somebody like that for real if they can do powers, like if they have powers? Like I said about it when I was bringing about our full capabilities. Like, what if somebody does, acquire these capabilities into these, like, mind expansive things and becomes, a little bit, like, more controlled, like, not to the levels of, like, the film of Lucy where the lady just exploded into these, like, whatever particles of quantum, whatever the hell that stuff, I don't even know how to even articulate that word, whatever happened with her. But anyways, if we go back and people, like, there's this one person that comes through and becomes like this singularity, like this crazy one and off of, or maybe it's like the beginning of a new evolution of humans where we just have these amazing capabilities, right? What will happen? How will they accept that right away? What if you're at a bar with somebody and say you make a shapeshifter? Let's say the shapeshifting reptilian, Satan worshipping reptilian overlords have some relatives that maybe not are as crazy, and they're trying to like rebel, and they want to go hang out and mingle with people, and maybe they want to like be on our side. Maybe they're just like, man, I'm sick of these guys always just trying to dominate the humans. Some of them are cool, I like Bieber's music. And they're like, Bieber's a reptilian too, stupid. Oh, shit. And they're like, what about this guy? Yep, he's one too. Motherfuck. So anyways, so he wants to go find out. They want to go sometimes and go hang out with humans. So let's say you're at the bar and you run into a shapeshifter accidentally. And you don't really know that there was a shapeshifter. Okay, so you're hanging at the bar. Maybe you're a single gentleman or a single woman, and you meet this nice man, nice woman, or whatever it is you're going to meet. And maybe you accidentally come in contact with their hand at the bar. Maybe you guys are getting a little close talking, and you're just like, oh, your hand came out. They're like, oh, you're silly. Oh, you're just playing. Oh, quit playing. And you touch their hand, and some weird digital shit just fucking happened. Like, some shit just happened to the hand. Like, the suit fucked up. Like, something just glitched out, and you just notice real quickly. Do you trip out? Like, say you're having a good time, and you don't feel threatened. Do you trip out? Or do you, like, make a big scene, and everybody fucking freak out and stone the alien to death that you look like a pretty lady, and you don't even know what the fuck you just did, man? Or a handsome guy, you don't even know, like, what could have happened. You don't even know what happened. You just trip out, like, oh, 911, man. You just freaked out. You fucking hit him with your high heel, and then, like, the bouncers all fucking beat my man up, seeing the green blood. Then everybody just clubs him up. He gets fucking put all over TikTok and all kinds of other videos, and he's fucking alien just being beat down. It was like some alien hate video. There's so many scenarios, but what would you do? In my instance, I almost think that if I were feeling not threatened and they were talking, I would have felt it out. Like I'd have been like, oh, like maybe bring it up a little later or something. Like if they gave you the vibe, like, oh shit, I'm actually just trying to hang out. You can get the vibe. Somebody's like, hey, I'm just trying to be low key. Especially people from the streets can read people like that. If you're from the streets, you grew up like me, myself, and you got that knowledge, you can read people very well. Like you can tell when somebody's just trying to like not be noticed. You know what I mean? So you would know if you wouldn't just want to make a scene. But if they gave you, like, if you saw that shit digitized and shit blinked red and they were like, flush some teeth out, or they were like, shut the fuck up or you die, like they gave you that kind of vibe, then yeah, you make a fucking scene. But if you notice that happens and then you notice the bar all start looking at you like, oh shit, you might be outnumbered, you shut your mouth. Dude, that's another reason you shut your mouth. There's just like big threat. That's like code blue or whatever the fuck. Code save your ass. Because that would be some serious shit right there, humans. Just saying. And then when you want to talk about some more conspiracies, they talk about how there's like suppressed history. And when they bring up the suppressed history, humans, I really am so interested in this because there are these two historians. I want to call them historians, but they're probably not. But I love their channels, and these people do really good, amazing research. One of them is a historian. She's actually a former teacher and former professor of history. And I love their channels. They talk about these two instances, these big instances in our history that just don't seem to line up. There's like some weird shit that happened in our history that just doesn't line up, humans. And it was somewhere between like the 1700s and the 1900s and like the 1900s, like something between the 1920s and the 1700s. Doesn't really line up. There was some weird shit. Like they said there's like some proof. Like when you look at these pictures, it's like almost there was some proof of some kind of nuclear event. Or maybe not some nuclear event, like some weird like shockwave or some weird like Men in Black where they all got fucking flashy thingy. Like everybody fucking came through in the sky and was like, look at this. And was like, psh. Because like you see these weird ass pictures in the 1700s where they say these world fairs and shit, right? And they talk about these big mud floods and shit. Like people were unbearing buildings. Some of these buildings, they just said, fuck it, we ain't unbearing these. Just build the streets right there. And you can see like quarter left of windows of like old ass buildings that were fucking giant as hell. And they were like, we just ain't burying the shit. Fuck it. They just gave up. And it's like, we just move into these people like right here. Okay. So you hear about like this weird flashy thing event. And it looked like this proof. Like they show you photographs. They show you these stories. They show you books. All these like books that exist in libraries that you can't edit. Like these books, you have to go in there and like, you can't erase this shit. This was like written at the time, the stuff, I don't know if it's stuff I don't know if it was written when it happened, but these are some good fucking good books. And their fucking research is phenomenal. So you see these photographs of these big buildings where they had these big world fairs or town fairs, whatever the fuck they call these big fairs. And everybody's standing out there. The reason I say they look like they all got flashy thingied, they're all standing out there. If you see this photo, like they all look like they just got flashy thingied. Like look at their faces. They're just like, they look like the fucking baby bird waiting for their mom to fucking give them food and shit. It's like, but their mouth ain't all the way open. And then they go in this place and it's just full of baby incubators. Like they just, like something weird happened between this timeline, and they were just like, okay, now we got to repopulate. Here's some babies. Here, take these here. Here, this hair looks kind of like you guys here. You can take this one. This one's a red hair baby. You guys can handle this one, though. And, all this crazy shit was happening, and nobody wants to talk about that in your history books. You just kind of see these photos and like, what the fuck happened? Like, why ain't nobody talking about this? And they're like, because we ain't supposed to. And you like, why the fuck not? And this shit was happening, humans, and there's proof of this shit. But I'm not saying it's a fact, but if you look at these photos, like everybody looks like they just fucking don't know what happened. Like it was like, what the hell just, like they all just got rebooted somehow. And they were just like, all right, well, now you got to fucking go fix Earth and go live here. And here's some fucking houses and shit. And here's some steam cars. You see these fucking like highly advanced buildings and everybody fucking on horse and carriages and shit. Like what, where, what? It just don't seem to line up, humans. And it's very entertaining to me. And I hope you all enjoyed this episode. And if you did, I would appreciate it if you would hit me with a like, hit that subscription, and turn on those notifications because I'm here twice a week. My name is Jaime, and this has been another episode of Meant to Vent. Till next time, humans. See ya.
Yes,